Welcome to the show. This is No Interference. We are your host, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. It is week 9 of the NFL season. We got some games to cover, some topics to go over, and then some potentially correct predictions to discuss. Some of us are better at that than others, so you know who to trust.
Ligma.
So let's start with Thursday Night Football.
I was going to start singing, but I don't even know what the theme is for Thursday Night Football. Do they have a theme?
Bum, 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 bum.
That's
Thursday.
pretty sure that's Monday Night Football.
Boring.
Yes, well, you know what? Actually, Thursday Night Football has been decent this year.
Better than last year.
Games at least are going down to the wire. Last night, unfortunately, Tennessee Titans went into Pittsburgh and lost to the Steelers 20-16. In usual fashion, Kenny Pickett looks pedestrian until the end of the fourth quarter, and he makes the one play to win the game, which he did. Had two nice passes to Deontay Johnson. The run game basically carried him the rest of the game.
Could have had a touchdown earlier if Pickens would have got his foot down, but for some reason he took a huge long stride.
Some people just don't have it.
He needs to watch some Santonio Holmes film.
Yeah, as soon as when he first caught it, I was like, "Oh, dang!" And then immediately, I think it was Amani Hooker was like, "He was out," and then I was like, "Hold on here," and then the replay showed, and I was like, when they went to replay, I was like, "Oh, there's probably one where he like gets his heel down." And then it rolls over, but he just went straight out of bounds. Wasn't even close.
It was the most pathetic attempt for a catch I've ever seen in my life. It's the last time I trusted him on my fantasy bench.
Bye weeks and stuff, but it
is
what it is.
Well, yeah, it's because he was playing Thursday night, and then, I had a guy that was questionable, so I didn't want to not have him, whatever. But thanks a lot.
As soon as Deontay Johnson comes back, Pickens is irrelevant.
He had a decent week last week.
Yeah. Well, for the Steelers, some, positives for the Steelers. Najee Harris ran about as aggressive as I think I've seen him run.
Good.
Yeah, he had a good game. Broderick Jones, the rookie tackle, played well, played very well in the run game, was moving the line of scrimmage. And then, as usual, Highsmith and Watt just harass the other team the entire game. For the Titans, it went about as much as it went just about how I thought. Derrick Henry looked decent. Probably should have gotten a few more carries. It's being such a close game, and he's really close to breaking off a few big ones. Will Levis, not the 4 touchdown game we had last week, but I think even more impressive considering he had already bad O-line get worse when they had almost every single backup offensive lineman get at least some play this game, and he looked sharp. I think there was only like about 3 plays where I feel like he probably wishes he had a do-over, but other than that, he looked good. Big, strong quarterback, making tons of calls at the line of scrimmage. I like that. I feel like when Tannehill was a quarterback, all you would get was like, check, 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 and then it would always be a handoff to Derrick Henry. Levis looks like he's making audibles, calling out blitzes, IDing the mic, calling shifts. And for the fact that he's a young rookie quarterback, pretty impressive. So,
one thing I noticed about him is that he doesn't wear the quarterback sleeve, the wristband.
That's for suckers.
What's your opinion? What's y'all's opinions on that? Well, some of the best quarterbacks of all time wear quarterback wristband. You got Jalen Hurts, you got Tom Brady, a lot of quarterbacks wearing
yeah.
I don't think Peyton Manning did.
No, he didn't. He just wore the wrist.
I don't think
the wristbands.
He's had wristbands.
Yeah, I think the Manning brothers were too good for it.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the system Like if you're
I
in a
think
system
that some head coaches make you, because I've heard some head coaches like it because it makes things a little bit more streamlined to getting the plays called and whatnot.
yeah.
Also, I'm assuming I've never even looked at a quarterback wristband, but I'm pretty sure, Taylor, you probably have because you coach. But isn't it just like, you know, a normal play? They say left, right, tiger, zebra, 22 route out, 50Y, long west side, the bull into the end zone. Like, so instead of saying all that, the coaches can just be like 12.
Yeah, so for like
play 12, and then they say
yeah,
all that.
yeah. So like for our wristband, like I mean, we have some really simple plays that are called just like strong right 16 power, but we have other passes that's called like laser, shark pass, trips, wheel option. But that for the wristband, we'll just say, 11 or like be like this, and the quarterback will like okay, and the huddle he'll be like, all right, laser, shark pass, trips right, wheel option, and
what does laser? What does laser mean?
It's for us. Taser. It's a motion. Laser for us is just a motion that the weak side receiver does.
He says laser for the guy to motion, but he thinks he says taser, so he just starts running like a street crowd. We ever play football again? It's gonna be that's good. Oh, you said blazer?
No, I said both.
Oh. See how this could be a problem?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Levis just has some incredible memory that he doesn't need it.
Yeah,
who knows? Some people just have way better memories than others.
Yeah, I just thought about it because
I didn't notice he wasn't wearing one, but I definitely saw him calling out the stuff Taylor mentioned. Like he was calling out the blitzers, identifying the mic, doing all that pre-snap. Everything you want to see a starting quarterback do, he's doing.
Now, if the Titans could just get an O-line and another receiver, because hopefully Burks is okay. They said he's moving. He just got diagnosed with a concussion, but I just don't think he's it.
It's crazy because I really didn't like when he fell. It didn't look like he fell that hard. I guess the way he hit his head.
Yeah, he just got whiplash. But
wild
is what it is.
I was reading their article about it because I didn't see it happen live, and somebody said he fell on his head.
No, he landed, and then his shoulders landed, and he was trying to hold the ball, and then when he landed, his head just got snapped back right into the. It's because he was running full speed, and then like jumped in the air and turned around, so all his momentum just slammed him straight into the ground.
Really bad concussion, and they obviously just took the ultimate precautions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that,
than it probably was.
First round wide receiver.
Burks has an issue where he like when he does go routes, he like runs like right down the sideline. So he gives himself no room to operate. So that every catch has to be like a tiptoe ballerina catch. But I digress. Moving on from that, we don't need to talk about that anymore because my team didn't win, and that's all that matters. Other breaking news: after a disappointing season, the Raiders have finally decided to move on from Josh McDaniels, and they also fired.
Taylor, stop farting on the mic, okay? We're live.
Move on from Josh McDaniels and fire their GM.
That's all I hear is you say Josh McDaniels is trash.
Yeah,
Ben
I think
called it. Ben said it.
I think you finally won the argument of who's worse, Josh McDaniels or
Staley.
Yeah,
Josh.
Yeah, you won that one. I said that the other day.
Yeah, the poll had the fans had spoken, but Josh McDaniels is 20-33 as an NFL head coach. He got a second chance. He also he kind of dabbled in possibly coaching for the Colts. Damn, aren't they glad they dodged a bullet there? He got a second chance with the Raiders, and nothing happened. Complete trash.
The Eagles were looking for a coach, and I, in my head, was thinking Josh McDaniels pretty offensive.
God damn it, Sass.
Dare
you?
The media just really.
I remember you said something about that too.
Right after he got
Immediately
fired, they were
switched it.
like, "What's a good landing spot for him?" And someone said, "Oh, he can go to Tennessee back with Vrabel." And I was like, "No."
He just belongs in New England for some reason. Maybe Tom
Riding
Brady. Maybe
the
he just needs
coattails of
Brady.
Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. He has nothing without them. Nothing. Somehow
gave me
his Tim Tebow
the one-
Broncos went to the playoffs, and they had some crazy play against the Steelers.
Well, they were that was they were cheating.
No,
right?
that was the
exactly.
that was the Kyle
Well, as a
Orton
team.
Broncos.
He still
well-
was cheating on the Broncos.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me like just not a good head coach. But the one thing I said like before last year was that I was like, watch Josh Jacobs have a really good year because he just seems to have good running back seem to produce for him. Josh Jacobs had a great year last year, but just
He was the
everything
best running
else
back
is
in the
crap.
league, yard wise, last year.
Yeah. So long,
Poor Devontae
sucker.
Adams. He somehow sold Devontae Adams on coming to Vegas, and now he's stuck there. They benched Garoppolo.
Derek Carr was there, and they paid him a lot of money, and it's
They
Las
should
Vegas.
have just stuck with Carr at this point.
Yeah. Well, did you see the story that came out that apparently, I guess Josh McDaniels was like, he knew his firing was so imminent that he was just like chewing out players left and right for like any little mistake.
Doesn't surprise me.
So the
It's not
players
good.
are like, now that he's gone, we can play more free and relax and like actually like focus on having like good games.
We'll find out this weekend. Also, I had no idea that Antonio Pierce was even alive. Don't miss him
Yeah.
from his Giants days.
Yeah,
His face, I
nice.
saw it.
Interim
I
head
saw
coach.
it on. Yeah, I saw it on social media. Like Antonio Pierce, new Giants interim coach or whatever. And I just had flashbacks to the Brandon Jacobs Giants.
Oh,
That's all he
God. Brandon
reminds me
Jacobs
of.
is a freaking wrecking ball.
Those are fun
Yeah, the
teams.
Plaxico Burress days.
The only person I ever saw
Anyways.
give Brandon Jacobs a business was London Fletcher. No, I'll never forget that hit. I'm actually going to look it up on YouTube here in a minute.
London Fletcher was a great player.
Legendary.
Some of the Eagles popped him. I remember one game he fumbled like 3 times and then he ran off the sideline, like ripped his like elbow
Probably
bands
Dawkins.
off. But yeah.
I'll never forget that video of Takeo Spikes in the interview. He's like, man, something about Brian Dawkins. He was just different. He looked at me and said, Spikes, I'm going to take his soul. And he said, man, I don't know what you want, but I want some of that.
That was a fun video.
And he did take that guy's soul, 100%. I can't remember who. It was some wide receiver on the sideline. Just, oh, God.
Different breed.
Folded him up. Well, yeah. Good luck to the Raiders. I don't know what else to say. It's been a rough few years for them. They can't seem to get anything right. But moving on. Deadline was Tuesday. Wasn't as splashy as people thought. A few trades did go through. First,
splashy for you, for everybody
First,
else.
The Giants traded Leonard Williams to the Seahawks for a second. Bolster that Seahawks front four. Hopefully help their run defense and maybe give them a little bit of pass rush. Their defense is about, I think it's like middle of the pack, like 16th or so overall. So help them push. They're trying to hold that lead as being first in the NFC West.
Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, why?
Their rush defense is 30th.
Their defense overall, I think, is 16th.
Oh.
He helps their rush defense.
Yes. Yeah, their total defense. Their pass defense isn't too bad. Their rush defense is bad.
I can't believe you would ever challenge me on this show. I can't stand for it.
Well, I mean, if you want to get the numbers right, technically their total defense is 7th.
Really? Their pass defense is that good?
The pass defense is...
After the first 2 games, when everybody came back healthy, I think they've been pretty good.
What numbers are...
Titans defense have the worst pass defense.
Well, yeah, it's been like for 3 years.
Seattle Seahawks... Okay, their pass defense is 13th. But their total yards defense
Either way, he
Okay,
bolsters.
you
their
know what? I may
defensive
have messed up the stats. Their total defense is a little bit further down, 26
Anarchy.
overall,
Ooh.
but their points allowed. That's not good either. Moving on.
Yeah, he's going to help them out. He's going to help them out. But additionally, there were two other kind of splashy trades that went on. Montez Sweat has been dealt to the Bears for a second-round pick. He's on the last year of his contract, and Washington clearly had no interest in extending him. Someone did bring up, and I forgot, he was labeled as undraftable by several teams because of his heart condition. So maybe Washington decided that he maybe wasn't going to have the longest career, so they wanted to just flip him. So
Montez Sweat.
Was it Sweat?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But on the other hand, they also
Sweat
doubled.
I understand that.
They doubled down after trading Sweat, and they traded Chase Young to the Niners for a conditional third.
Bastards.
The conditional third that the Niners got for D'Amico Ryans and Ron Carthan, both being signed from them, so for that minority program. So that's the pick that they used to trade for Chase Young. So now Chase Young gets to play Robin to Nick Bosa's Batman and see if he can kind of revitalize the hype that he started to lose in his career.
I mean, he's eighth in pressures right now. Total pressures, quarterback pressures in the league. After missing a game. Sack numbers on there. He has 5 sacks, though, I believe. But,
So you're just fine with him leaving?
No, I'm not fine with freaking leaving. It's malarkey. I understand trading one of them. They traded both. Makes no sense. Who's going to rush the passer on the outside now? John Ridgeway? The fuck?
Well, the season wasn't going anywhere anyways.
Yeah, but you could easily have signed Chase Young for way less. He only the amount of games total he's played in 3 years. Then Montez Sweat.
He's gonna demand more money than you guys want to pay, and you're already paying 2 defensive tackles premium dollar.
Jonathan Allen will have to repay him again soon too. I mean, his his extension's almost over. Deron Payne's signed.
I'm basing my opinion from an outsider's point of view, so that's just what I'm thinking. Their thought process is that they already have money invested. They can probably they found that their thought is that they found 2 guys. They found more than 2 guys. What do you have? 4 first rounders on your D line. They can probably find other ones.
Cost first round pick. We got. If Chase Young was a second overall pick and you trade him for a conditional third in that case too, I say if the price wasn't worth it, then don't fucking trade him. Makes no sense.
Well, it's also possible they got the feeling that they didn't want to re-sign there.
I would at least tag him to try to get more out of him. Let the season go. I think he's still having a decent season.
I think a second for Sweat's pretty good.
A second for Sweat's great, but a conditional third for Young is malak.
Well, that's just based purely on his injury history, I'd think.
Yeah, but since his injuries, he's playing pretty well overall.
Yeah. Well, new age
Idiots.
New age for Washington.
Josh Harris was just on the trigger that day, trading everybody from all of his
also
sports
look
teams.
at it. Del Rio, he's probably a big part of the problem. But even if his stats look good, Washington's defense has kind of been a letdown the last 2 years when we thought it was going to be a strength after 3 years ago.
Still think it's Del Rio. Cannot wait to see him get the freak out of Washington. Him and Rivera can kick rocks.
Yeah,
the enemy's probably not going to do much better either.
Yeah, I think, well, at least if you're as a Washington fan like yourself, if you look at the team on a talent level on a player-by-player basis, it's there. I like Sam Howell. I think you don't give up on him. You got Gibson.
As long as he plays the Eagles 17 times a year.
Gibson and B-Rob are there. I mean, you that's not that bad
Gibson
of a running back.
Rocks too.
Well, I think he's potentially been used wrong, but we got Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson's a good running back.
Love Beaver. He's
O-line,
killing it.
O-line needs work for sure. O-line needs work.
Well, that's what I would like to have seen. Maybe trade for a player. You could try to get a player for him that we need, like position-wise we need, instead of a fucking third-round pick. Like, how good are we at drafting where we're going to trust our second and third-round picks anyway?
Yeah, well, I
Maybe
think
Magic Johnson got somebody up his sleeve.
We need a new GM. Yeah, we need a new GM. We need new coaches. Everything.
Well, Rivera is your GM, right?
No. Martin Mayhew.
He's not like. Oh, right.
He's gone though. Everybody thinks they're cleaning house. The enemy might stick around for to be because he didn't really get a super fair shot. But again, he's not doing much with this offense anyway.
So real quick before we move on, do you think that Bieniemy? Because like for the last 4 years, I was like, oh, Bieniemy is like the hot head coach candidate, but people are like, well, is he really that good, or is it just working for Andy Reid? What's your prognosis?
As of right now, that's what it's looking like. He was just working under one of the best coaches of all time. Smelling a little McDaniel-y to me.
What will you do?
We'll see, I'm not gonna actually write him off yet. There's no way. But he did call way too many screens in the last game.
All right, last thing, and I'll stop berating you. Season ends. The Washington announces they're firing Ron Rivera. You are like, oh yay, we're finally moving on. You go to bed. Your alarm goes off the next day, and they hired Josh McDaniels.
Could you imagine?
If you thought I was fucking around before about switching teams, I swear to God.
Yeah, would that be your last straw? Would that be your last straw?
Yeah, there's no way they hired Josh McDaniels.
God.
That's a nightmare. Why are you gonna put that in my brain?
We're gonna thumbnail this on the pod, so in 4 months when it happens, we can look back on
Taylor,
this.
What you need to do is to somehow put on
now.
Taylor. You need to put on the best show possible to make everyone think you're a genius coach. Just get your foot in the door, get that one contract that's guaranteed, 6 for $20 million, and then just shit the bed, but you still get the money, and we're all rich.
The Raiders are paying $80 million right now in coaches that no longer work for them.
Well, listen,
group chat.
I'm hoping in 2 years to be coaching high school, and then maybe in 4 years I get to college, and then by the time I'm 40, maybe
what kind of meteoric rise is this?
By the time I'm 40, I can get into the NFL.
I mean, yeah. You could just go take a scouting job in the NFL and have a crap life for 5 years and hope.
I'll be a ball boy at first. I don't give a shit. I'll pull the freaking Sean McVay route.
Well, then you go do it and get your foot in the door, and then you can get us in the door.
All right, fine with me. I'll do it.
You just see RJ on the sideline for the new Washington Commanders, and he's got all the balls in his hands and the bags, and he's just slowly walking towards the coach. Jet sweep.
Nah, you see me on the sideline. I take the headset. I'm just sitting there looking confused. Oh shit! I should have called that one.
How'd the ball boy get the headset? Let the ball boy get the headset.
I could never last as an NFL head coach. I swear to God, I could never last.
Sam Howell, Sam Howell, who is this? Run the play.
You'll occasionally see a coach lose his shit on the sideline, and when something bad happens. Every time my team went 3 and out, you see me over there what the fuck? I feel snapping.
We've had visions of years of predicting your
coach
on the sideline. Yeah.
Start fucking just go up to the towel.
So many players and so many Madden players in franchise have been
verbally abused,
berated by a theoretical RJ coach.
Cut mid-season.
That's as an owner.
Oh yeah, as an owner.
It's even worse. Give me more power. Everybody's getting fired.
Well, let's not hope Josh McDaniels or RJ ever becomes coach.
Or more so than that, hope RJ never becomes a cap manager for your team.
Ooh, shots fired.
I got a lot better with that. Fuck off. Gotten so much better with cap management. I only want to hear it. I got cap space year.
Well, I think the game just made it so that's not possible anymore.
No, I'm sure you can still go negative. I just don't trade. I look at who I have under contract and then look at their actual contracts to what you have to owe even after you trade them. They have all this fucking money tied up to is it bonuses? Yeah, the salary you don't have to worry. Or no, the salary you pay. Bonuses is I can't remember. Either way, one of them is no matter what, you're paying that fucking number, so don't cut them or trade them.
Well, moving on. All right.
Just keep it going.
Yeah, let's go into the actual games, upcoming games. All right, so first thing on the clock, we have Dolphins. Well, technically, it's a Chiefs home game, but it's over in Germany, in was it Frankfurt or something like that? Either of you know?
I have no idea where in Germany. I just know it's Germany.
Well, it's a 9:30 kickoff. The Chiefs are currently 2-point favorites. The Chiefs have a few injuries. Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's out. Nick Bolton's on IR. William Gay's questionable.
Frankfurt Stadium.
Thank you, sir.
Frankfurt Stadium in Frankfurt, Germany.
The Dolphins have several offensive linemen that are either questionable or out. I know this game is being sold as Tua versus Mahomes high-flying offense, but with the way the season's gone, it's really the Dolphins' full throttle offense versus the Chiefs' surprisingly good defense.
Well said.
And I'm actually surprised that the Chiefs are 2-point favorites.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because who cares? It's our show. We do what we want. But this would be my lock of the week to pick the under for this game, and I'm also liking the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too.
Well, over under is 50, so the Dolphins could still blow them out and get under that.
Yep. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I just think it's in Germany. I don't know. I just got vibes of a low-scoring game. And the Chiefs have been playing in a lot of low-scoring games.
Well, I just think the Dolphins,
the Dolphins need to beat a winning team eventually.
Yeah. But, the Chiefs have Chris Jones, but, you can scheme around Chris Jones. It's not like the Eagles where they were putting basically 4 Pro Bowlers on the line in front of you and saying, good luck. So I think the Dolphins are going to be able to score. It's going to be hard to keep them. I mean, they're going to get Waddle and Hill out and open. And they're going to get the run. They're going to, hit you on the edges on the run game. If I'm the Dolphins, I'm bracketing up Kelsey, and I'm just saying, Mahomes, you might get your yardage, but you're going to nickel and dime all the way up the field, and good luck keeping up because we're going to be going bombs away, getting chunk plays, scoring quick touchdowns. Because no matter how good your defense is, if you can't pressure Tua, Tyreek Hill is going to get open.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's the same story for the Chiefs every game. I mean, not every game, but just last week against Denver, they were having drop issues again. It seems like that's been a problem all year for the wide receivers. And then Kelsey didn't really do much.
Well, I think the book's out. You do your best to take away be disciplined in the run game, covering your gaps. Do your best to double team or take away Kelsey, however you want to do it. And they've shown that the receivers they have typically aren't going to beat you unless you're the Chargers, who can't cover anyone.
I think they need to lean on Pacheco a little bit more.
Yeah, well, Andy Reid doesn't really have a history of doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Are we all in agreement that Dolphins are probably going to win?
Yes.
Cool.
I thought I was picking a different pick.
Nope.
Next up, we have the Minnesota Vikings at Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Both these teams, surprisingly, 4-4. However, the Vikings will be without Kirk Cousins. They said they're going with their rookie quarterback, correct?
Yeah.
Falcons are 3.5-point favorites. Justin Jefferson's still out on IR. And the Vikings traded their right guard as Ezra Cleveland to the Jags, so that's a little bit of a hit for them. Falcons, Drake London, they did announce he is out. Grady Jarrett, he's on IR from getting hurt in the Titans game. But I mean,
there's
Falcons,
only one person that matters. And his name's Taylor Heineke. If he's playing, the Falcons are winning.
Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed that Drake London's out for the first full game that Heineke's playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Falcons are going to do what they've always done. Lean on the run game. Hopefully this is a game where we see them just... I want to see them just, feed Bijan the ball.
Bijan, yeah, same.
Give him 20 touches. And I don't know. I might be a fool to say this. Feed Bijan. Next thing you know, Kyle Pitts leak out for like a 40-yarder. I don't know why they don't do that more. Hopefully they do now. I mean, they're in a good spot. This is probably the chunk of their schedule. The Falcons, let me double check. So they have Vikings, Cardinals, Saints, Jets, Tampa, Panthers. This is a stretch where if they can go 4-2, 5-1, they can definitely run away with that division potentially.
Yeah, the division's not doing well as a whole.
But yeah, with everything that's being said and the injuries that are there, he gets a lot of crap, but I have faith in Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. We got to shout out the rookie wide receiver though with Addison.
Oh yeah, he's putting up some numbers in Justin Jefferson's.
He put up 190 yards, like 3 touchdowns, something like that.
I think we'll realize how much Kirk Cousins meant to that offense tomorrow.
I mean, Kirk Cousins will never get credit, but if you look at his stats up until his stats up to this week, he was putting up elite numbers. If his name was...
It was like 18 touchdowns to 5 picks.
If his name was Dak Prescott, he would be like the runaway MVP favorite, probably.
Yeah. The only problem was... Well, yeah, you're probably right.
But have a moment of silence for Kirk Cousins.
The turf has taken 2 Achilles this year.
What happened, RJ? I just said a moment of silence for Kirk Cousins.
A moment of silence. The turf's taking out 2 legs this year.
This guy goes, what's the difference? Noise.
Well, he started talking anyways.
No,
and it was,
a moment of silence. He's not dead.
We probably shouldn't have a moment of silence for this type of show anyway. So.
All right, I'm trying to be respectful. Moving on.
Did he die?
But did he die?
All right, moving on. We have the Seattle Seahawks flying cross country.
Juicy.
Take on the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are actually 6-point favorites. I think that's a little rich for me, a little too much for my liking, which is why we'll talk about it a little bit more later. But I like the Seahawks in this one. You can make the argument that Baltimore is one of the hotter teams in the league right now. They're currently on a 3-game win streak, which included dismantling the Detroit Lions. The Ravens are fairly healthy, and the Seahawks are coming in off of a also wait, that's not right. Let me get the right stats up. The Seahawks are coming in off of a late game win against the Cleveland Browns, where it looked like they were about to lose, and then they grasped the victory right from the Cleveland Browns. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you try to play a game without a quarterback. One note for the Seahawks, their edge rusher, Nwosu, he is, I think, out for the year. And he's a real high energy player, very good pass rusher for them. So that's going to make probably a big impact on the game. But we get to see comeback player of the year versus MVP.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar said it best himself after the last few wins that it's just a regular season game. You don't take it, for what, too much for what it is. It's not playoffs. They have a lot of work to do. So it seems like they're not, they may be on a decent win streak and 6-2 at top of the AFC, but they seem to understand what still lies ahead and not, getting too full of themselves.
Yeah.
Odell, different story.
Well, I was going to say, I got a brain buster for you. Okay, go ahead. I'll save it.
What's your brain buster?
Who has a meltdown first, DK Metcalf or Odell Beckham?
That's not a brain buster. That's just a guess.
It was a good one, all right?
Odell Beckham already had his meltdown. He spit in his helmet last week and through his helmet, I think. DK Metcalf, doesn't he have a meltdown every week?
I mean, yeah, they both, I think, have meltdowns every week, basically.
That's what happens when you have dangling earrings and your helmet tugs on and you got to cry all the time.
That's fair. Well, I was going to say, you're very confident in the Seahawks with Lamar Jackson pretty much owning the NFC.
You think he's going to keep that up for his whole career?
He hasn't. In like 20 games, he's only had one loss. I got these stats right here. In 20 career games against the NFC, he has 3,500 yards, 29 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions. I think this is just passing touchdowns. So tack on more rushing touchdowns too. And he's only got one loss.
Say he doesn't care what conference it is.
I think he was playing the whole, let's not put the bad juju in there because it's the whole,
he's being smart about
the announcer, this guy's made 10,000 free throws in a row. You're going to miss it. This guy's made 20 field goals in a row. He's probably going to miss it. So now that I'm talking about it, he probably is going to lose against Seahawks. But
you fell right into my trap.
The safe money is with oh God, I just said the Seahawks.
The safe money is with the Seahawks. If you're a betting man, the money is with the Seahawks.
It's at home for Seattle.
Actually, the money is with the Ravens because it's
-6.
Pete Carroll.
The odds are -270.
Pete Carroll is one of the best coaches when he's a more than 3-point underdog.
Yes. The underdog is the
They are playing out west, so right? They're playing out west.
It's in Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore.
It's in Baltimore.
Ravens got it.
Underdog is champion this year, I think. I think more underdogs have won this year than.
But listen. I think Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet are going to pop off, and then DK Metcalf
got a bad calf.
DK Metcalf is going to get a 75-yard touchdown.
Pretty bold there, buddy.
Ravens defense has been pretty good.
They're suspect at best.
The Ravens are a team though that could play really well for however long and just go right back to mediocrity the next week.
The Baltimore Ravens
can they keep
the
it
third
consistent?
Most points allowed. They have the passing defense,
like third in points allowed, as in their top 5.
Yeah, but look at the quarterbacks they've but look at who they've played. The Ravens. All right, they had
pass defense not that good.
They played C.J. Stroud in his very first game. They played the Bengals when Joe Burrow basically had one leg. They played Gardner Minshew for an entire game and lost. They played P.J. Walker and destroyed him. They lost to Kenny Pickett, who earlier I said is garbage. They beat trash Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis. So they're lucky that Will Levis didn't come in and dice them up.
Well, first
And
off,
then they got Jared Goff. I'll give them that. But then they played Josh Dobbs last week and still made that an interesting game.
okay, well,
You can
the
make an
Cleveland
argument.
Browns
You can make an
have
argument
had
that Geno Smith is the best quarterback they will have seen at this point.
Jared Goff. And the Cleveland Browns have been a good team with a really good defense. They put 28 on, and they beat the San Francisco 49ers.
PJ Washington,
the Steelers just beat your Titans last night and are 5-3, if I understand correctly. And
they're frauds. They're fraudulent.
The Colts were a frisky team earlier in the season. That was only week 3. Everybody's good the first 3 weeks of the season, and they only lost by a field. They honestly should be undefeated. They let 2 games slip through their fingers. I'm not saying the Ravens are world beaters here, but your Ravens hate's coming through a little bit.
I was gonna say the Ravens hate is definitely shining.
Listen. The fans of the show, the fans of the show know who to put their money on. All right, I'm making money for people out here. I'm changing lives.
You were 3 for 3 last week, but you're going to be 0 for 3 this week.
One good week and this man's head goes through the roof.
I know. Wait until the Titans start winning. That's what we fear most. No, you were pretty good back in the day when the Titans won.
I know we're called no interference, but I might have to throw some interference in here with his freaking picks. Not let him escalate.
You know what?
Further.
I haven't thought about that. But I don't know how you two will act when your teams are like winning Super Bowls. Making it Super Bowl.
My team has 3, though. It's not like we don't have any.
Let's not talk about before
I wasn't alive yet, but
yeah. Anyways, let's go to the next.
No, what do you mean? I'm a Niners fan. We're historically one of the best teams ever.
Can we get rid of this third box here that is talking?
What's the Niners chant? I gotta learn it so I can start the...
You're sick. You're disgusting.
All right, well, I'm rooting for Chase Young until the day he retires.
Why do you have so much commitment to him? Because
he's just one of my favorite players. He was one of my favorite players to watch.
But it's because you bought his jersey.
But listen,
I wouldn't have bought his jersey if I wasn't such a huge fan, though.
Before Chase Young,
that's why I don't buy rookie jerseys.
Hang on. Before Chase Young,
who was almost 4 years.
Who was the last player you invested in on Washington?
Contract. Huh?
Before
we don't
Chase
want to
Young,
talk about that either.
Who was the last player you invested in?
RG3.
That was the last jersey you bought?
Yes. I actually didn't even buy it for myself. I asked for it for Christmas.
It's okay.
That's
you don't
bad
know.
Juju. That's 2 injury players. You better not.
I'm not buying any.
Well,
no, it's okay.
If I buy Terry, he's going to be historically one of our best receivers ever.
Do you want to?
Terry will always be okay.
Do you want to know my Titans jersey history? Not to get sidetracked.
Trevor, you and Sass both have bad luck with jerseys.
Albert Hainsworth.
In my defense, I do have Fletcher Cox. He's a career Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Okay, Albert Hainsworth. Next year went to Washington. Then I think the next jersey I bought was Cortland Finnegan.
I hate him.
That's one of my favorites to rep. I'll give myself that one. Then Chris Johnson. Okay, that's respectable. But then I got Colin McCarthy, and the Patriots ended his career with one of the most vicious blindside blocks ever. I thought he was going to be the next.
Colin McCarthy.
I thought he was going to be a star linebacker. Yep. Then I got Kendall Wright.
I remember him.
After he had his 1,000-yard year, second year in the league. And that was a mistake. Then I got Marcus Mariota after his second year when he was a Pro Bowler. That was a mistake. I got Taylor Lewan, but when I bought his jerseys when his knees started tearing ACLs.
That's still a good jersey, though.
Yeah. Then Kevin Byard, who's now on the Eagles. And my most recent jersey was AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I'll take both of those.
I'm pretty sure I didn't even have my AJ Brown jersey for a season. I'm pretty sure I bought my AJ Brown jersey and then they traded him before the next season started.
Yeah, it sucks. The only jersey
you don't have a Kelsey jersey.
He does.
I do have a Kelsey jersey. It's what I wear. I've worn it every game this season. I've turned the tides of my
jersey wearing. You used to never wear jerseys.
Never, because it was always bad luck. And I said, I got to start wearing my jerseys. And it might be Kelsey's last year.
I might sell it on eBay.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting a Kelly Green Hurts jersey for Christmas. And by saying maybe, I asked my wife for it.
Yeah, I want a jersey, but I don't know. Maybe I get a Will Levis jersey.
Yeah, the only jersey I've ever gotten that's worked out was the first one was Todd
Clinton
Heat for the
Portis.
Ravens, and then Clinton Portis. Yeah, that was my next one.
Yeah.
But that jersey is somewhere. I don't know where it is.
I stuck to conventional wisdom and waited for the guy to get his contract. I didn't wait, but I think you bought me the Wentz jersey, right, Taylor?
Yeah, unfortunately.
It was after his contract, too. Safe bet, and then it just spiraled out of control.
I do have a McNair and an Eddie George jersey that I rotate.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
I need to get some throwback jerseys. I need a McNabb jersey.
That'd be nice.
I saw this one guy posted all the jerseys he's gotten for Washington quarterbacks, and we're not like Cleveland, but there's a lot over the last 20 years. Well, he had every single new version of Wentz jersey for us. I mean, he had literally 3 rows of jerseys in the last. He had literally all the different types of Wentz jerseys. I'm like, you're crazy.
You know what I think would be a nice throwback jersey, Trevor. That I would, if I saw someone with this jersey, I'd be like, respect.
Reggie White.
No, I would say Sheldon Brown.
Oh yeah, I mean, you probably can't even find that. You probably couldn't buy that back then.
Well,
he never even made a Pro Bowl, I don't think.
The hits.
Yeah, he was beast.
I remember
an Asante Samuel Midnight Green was definitely a very popular jersey.
You had an Asante Samuel jersey, didn't you?
I think so.
At one
was
point,
that my black jersey.
At one point, I thought you had Samuel, Vick, Deshaun Jackson, and McCoy.
Did I have all of them?
Yeah, you never wore a single one.
Well, look what happened. They all got traded.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only jerseys I have in my house right now is Kelsey, Fletcher Cox, which Fletcher Cox one doesn't fit. So I'm like trying to see how I can get it signed by him and frame it. But I don't know if I can.
Go to a game.
I think I still have the Wentz one buried deep down in some box. Well, we got sidetracked.
Yep. All right, let's get back on course. This is going to be a great game. 1:00 kickoff, clear sky. Arizona Cardinals are going to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are 10-point favorites. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Cardinals.
Some rookie, I think.
Why will not tell me who's playing? 1 second, pardon me. Yeah, Clayton Tune.
Connor Murray's questionable. He might play. He might start this weekend. They're saying
he's not playing. He's not playing. So this Clayton Tune guy is basically being sacrificed to Myles Garrett.
He needs more gravestones in his front yard.
I mean, I like the 10, the 10, the plus 10, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say.
Cleveland minus 10.
Yeah, because Arizona might not score. Cleveland only has to score 10 points.
Yeah,
13 points.
Fair point.
Easy money.
Yeah. I don't.
Cleveland
should all do it. Let's all put in $33.
I wouldn't be shocked if Arizona doesn't even cross midfield.
Yeah. And James Conner's still on IR.
And Zach Ertz is still out, I believe.
That's what he gets for starting a fight against my 49ers.
I will not stand for this.
Well, we do not need to stay in that game any longer than is needed. Next up, an equally probably disappointing game. LA Rams are going to Green Bay, take on the Packers.
Stafford hurt, right? Stafford's hurt.
He's questionable with a thumb injury.
I'm just curious as to why Green Bay's favored.
Yeah, I'm guessing just because
home.
The Rams have looked really bad the last few games, and they're home. So, what?
Nothing. You just froze for us for a second.
Teleported to a different dimension.
Keep going.
Did you hear what I said?
No.
We can guess.
All right.
You asked a question.
No, these teams are pretty even. The Packers are on a 4-game losing streak. I think I jumped between like 8 tabs real quick, and my computer was like, no.
Whoa.
It's too much, dude.
Easy, girl.
Whoa.
That is a
easy,
video
girl.
game quote that was not supposed to be as weird as it sounded.
Way to go.
I'm taking the Packers because I'm
taking
giving
the Packers too.
Jordan Love one last shot, boy.
Well, he's got the whole game or the whole season, most likely. But
Yeah.
I
he does
wouldn't
have the
touch.
season,
I
but he
wouldn't
needs to
touch
look
this
good
game.
eventually.
he's doing.
I wouldn't touch
big
this game. I need to see Matt Stafford warming up.
I'm still going Green Bay.
Let me see Matt. Let me see Matt Stafford warm up before the game, and then I would pick a team. Because the Packers also traded Rasul Douglas to the Bills.
Pick a team, any team.
So they lost.
Yeah, but the Green Bay Packers,
Yeah.
the only thing that the Rams have is really passing to those receivers, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Matthew Stafford's hand's injured. The Green Bay Packers defense isn't that bad. They have corners. Well, they traded Rasul Douglas. So you
Still
just
right
said,
here. Yeah, they still Jair Alexander.
sorry. As my thought was processing, you said it, and it like blanked out.
I
But
think
they still
Stafford
they
can
have
throw with
pass
his
rushers.
left arm on this defense.
That's
Damn.
just disrespect.
Yeah, hater.
We'll see. I'm taking the Packers.
Same.
I'm no decision, so I will not.
What? You gotta pick somebody.
before the game.
Coward.
All right, Rams. We're going Rams.
You have to go to the Rams.
He's got
because we
balls.
just talked about how good Stafford could throw left-handed on this defense.
He said,
All
"My
right,
grandma
all
could
right.
shoot a
Stafford could
football
throw
out of her
left-
butt better. You could throw it."
Oh my God.
That was a real
All
statement
right.
from a Ravens fan when I was a kid at the game.
Makes it funny.
Moving on.
It's a true story.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to Texas to take on the Houston Texans. Texans are 2.5-point favorites. Buccaneers, injury-wise, Vita Vea is questionable. The Texans have a plethora of injuries, including Robert Woods is out and Dameon Pierce is also out.
Sophomore slump for Dameon Pierce this year.
Their
well,
O-line sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I drafted him, unfortunately.
You know who's going to step up? Tank Dell.
You think?
He's a
Because
beast.
I've been backing the Bucks all season, and I'm going to continue doing so. Last week, Thursday night, we said they'll cover the 9.5 points. They did. I think they're going to outright win this game. I don't really understand why the Texans are 2.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I do like
Dude,
Stroud, what he's working with as a rookie, but I think the Bucks got this one as well.
Do the Texans have anybody else besides Singletary?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they do. I just don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, they but I can't remember his name. They have the one running back.
I'm taking
know.
the Texans anyways because I like C.J. Stroud and I like Nico Collins and Tank Dell.
All I need is Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, and
Rest
we'll
is
ride
history.
with that.
Well, I need Singletary and Tank Dell.
I
Like
need
history
it.
History's on my side.
Not today.
All Mike Evans does is
Sunday.
put up. All Mike Evans does
Not
is put
today.
up 60 yards and a touchdown basically every game.
It's Sunday. Today's Sunday. That's what I said.
What'd you say, Taylor?
I said all Mike Evans does is put up 60 yards and a touchdown every week.
Every
Yeah,
week.
he does. He's reliable. He really carries the fantasy football team.
If my team was any good.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that.
Yeah.
Hey, I just started a guy who scored 0.9 points last night. So, all right, on to
That's
the
all right.
next.
This is maybe the game of the week right here. Washington
Disrespect.
going to New England and take on the Patriots. Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. I'll hand it off to you, RJ.
Eh,
This isn't his team.
Oh yeah, this isn't even your team.
49ers.
Yeah, I don't know this Washington shitskins over here. They no, I actually do have them winning. Patriots are complete ass. Mac Jones has been playing like shit. Sam Howell's still offense is doing decent. If they can just get any kind of productivity that they get against the Eagles, against any other team, they'll be doing just fine. They still got to worry about Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen coming from the middle. We'll see what happens. Jamin Davis has played really well this year too in his third year, middle linebacker. Love seeing that. St. Just is 10th, or he has 10 deflections. Tied, I think he's 4th or 5th in the league for deflections. There's still some bright spots. Yeah. It's just the outside edge is less of a worry. I mean, the backups have played well. Like I said, John Widgeway earlier. I can't remember the other guys, like a Defe Oda or something like that. I can't remember how to say it.
Yeah.
So if
I noticed that because you said if their offense would be playing more consistently, their record would only be one game different if they scored the same amount of points that they do against the Eagles, 31.
Because we give up so many damn points.
They would be 4-4 instead of 3-5, which I guess is better.
Yeah, it's freaking two.
So Kendrick Bourne's out for the Patriots. He's basically their number one receiver.
It's one game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this game comes down to which team can get their run game going. So I think it comes down to which team can get their run game going, and I think I have a little bit more faith in Washington here. And also, when push comes to shove, give me the quarterback that's going to sling it and give his team a chance. Mac Jones is a check down Charlie noodle arm, so I can't respect that.
Yeah,
even the check down Charlie and the noodle arm. That's double jeopardy there.
Yeah, the run game for us is it can be non-existent, but Brian Robinson has picked it up a lot. He's running hard.
This game is going to go either
the ball, all of it.
It's going to go two ways. Either the Washington team is completely demoralized after the fire sale, or
it's not a fire sale.
On the defensive line it was. Or they're revitalized because they're like, screw you guys, we can still win. And I'm going to lean towards that. And I think your offense will play. Your offense was untouched. Maybe your pass rush won't produce. Maybe it will. Maybe the guys in the back were better than we think. But I'm taking Washington as well.
Yeah, no Curtis Samuel, but Jamison Crowder has emerged as a decent slot option. So Jahan Dotson coming back to life. Terry's Terry. Logan Thomas has been playing pretty well. So O-line's been playing better overall.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll see. This is what we've been talking about. The NFL has a lot of mediocrity this year, which you think is good for the game, but it also leads to some hard games to watch, such as the next one. Chicago Bears in New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Bears still riding with Tyson Bagent, and the Saints are 8.5-point favorites. I don't even know what to say.
I'm going Saints. Make it easy. They're at home. I think Derek Carr might have a decent game because he's going up against the Bears.
I mean, I guess if you're a Bears fan, you get to see Montez Sweat in action, see if it paid off to give up that second-round pick for 2 years in a row. But yeah, it was a nice story beating the Raiders, but it's the Raiders, and we've seen how that team's imploding. So yeah, give me the Saints. It should be a put-away game. It should be over by the second quarter.
Agreed. Saints should cover that easily.
Yeah, I usually stay away from big spreads like that, but yeah, I'll take the Saints.
I love a good big spread myself.
You like it spread big?
No, like a big spread, Big old
spread.
Plate. Big
well, next up,
food, nice spread.
Another barn burner. We have the Colts going to Carolina to take on the 1-6 Panthers. Panthers are actually 2.5. No, I'm sorry.
Read
They're
that
not
one.
Colts.
favorites.
Yeah, Colts are 2.5-point favorites. I just
Any
don't
game
know.
that Gardner Minshew plays in. Wow. I couldn't
Y'all's
hold
are
that
real.
one in. And any game that Gardner Minshew plays in is a wild card. He could either throw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, or he could throw for 150 yards and 2 picks and make wild plays in between.
But I think this is a game that Jonathan Taylor just gets unleashed. He goes for like 120 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
Shane
Josh Downs
Steichen's
might
still-
not play.
Shane Steichen's still a
Yeah,
good
I think
coach.
Josh Downs is doubtful.
Is he? Yeah, I'm going to go the Colts here because
Same.
Kelly just talked me into it with Jonathan Taylor going off.
Yeah, Taylor's
I
been
mean, so
doing
was
well
that-
overall since he's.
I know I
yeah,
have.
Fuck you. Since they've
I knew he was
uptick
gonna do
his.
that.
Yeah. Well, one of the next one then. I'm out. Just kidding.
All right. One more crap game and we can
We
get
don't
into
gotta
something
do it.
good.
We don't got
The Giants at the Raiders.
This is my
Raiders
lock
are
of
one
the week.
Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. If it's your lock, then you can take over because I don't want to talk about it.
Well, there's one reason only. They're gonna do it in spite of Josh McDaniels. They're gonna show how it is to win without a horrible head coach. Plus, Max Crosby is on a tear, and I don't think Daniel Jones is playing, so it's gonna be the Crosby show.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Raiders too just because I like their rookie quarterback.
Daniel Jones isn't on the
What,
injury
Aiden O'Connell?
report.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
not. Well, too
Got
bad
that
he
mustache.
doesn't give him any better chance to win than if he wasn't. So,
Darren Waller is out for the Raiders.
surprise.
Robert Spillane is questionable. Divine Diablo's out.
Lane.
Divine Diablo. What a cool name.
Yeah, beautiful devil. Giants have a ton of injuries, but just like RJ said, we see it all the time in the NFL. There's a struggling team with a horrible head coach. They fire the head coach, and the next week the team comes out firing on all cylinders. And at least for 1 week, you go, "That's my team. Look what they can do." So
It's my son.
So
Let him go.
So yeah, I'll take the Raiders.
We like it.
Raiders. Who did you pick, Trevor?
I picked the
Raiders.
Raiders.
All right, we're all riding with the Raiders. All right, next up's the game we've all been waiting for. Dallas Cowboys are heading to Philly for a big game. Philadelphia is 3-point favorites. Real quick, I'm going to go over some injuries. Tyrone Smith is questionable for the Cowboys. For the Eagles, Boston Scott's out. Juergens is out. And then Bradley Roby's out. Other than that, it's business as usual for these teams. You may proceed.
Yeah, you gotta pick the Cowboys and guess what? It's the easy one.
Who's that
Psych!
supposed to be? Who does that sound like?
Just some random voice came out and I liked it.
That's what you think Philly people sound like?
Nah. Why would I say Cowboys win if I wanted to sound like a Joan?
Well, it was so
Goddamn.
far off. Oh, that's true.
It was just a random
true.
voice.
Yeah, it sounded like something. Anyways, biggest
Got those TPS reports.
game of the year for the Eagles and the Cowboys. A lot of media people have been saying it's a must-win for the Cowboys. I think it's a huge game for the Eagles. Maybe that's goes without saying, but I just heard more people say it's a must-win for the Cowboys.
For both, yeah.
You know, the Cowboys have basically had a few really, 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 really good games, and they pretty much blow out teams, I feel like, or they've lost. They've had one close win this year, which was against the Chargers, which take that how you will. And I feel like the Eagles have just found ways to win all year. A.J. Brown's been unstoppable. The Cowboys do have Parsons and Bland on the other side. Bland, I think, leads the league in interceptions, and doesn't he have like 3 or 4 touchdowns too?
I think he has 3 interceptions, pick sixes.
Yeah, but the other thing, the main point, is that Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott didn't even play each other last year. They were both injured in one game. One game it was Jalen Hurts versus Cooper Rush, and then the other game it was Gardner Minshew versus Dak Prescott. Both relatively close games. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. I think the last time they played was Jalen Hurts' first year starting, so his second year. And we actually went up in that game early, but then we ended up getting blown out. And that was before we even figured things out that year and went on a win streak the second half of the year. But I think the Eagles are going to probably try to do what they did the last couple times they played. Well, last time they played with Jalen Hurts against the Cowboys is heavy run the ball and RPOs, focused at Michael Parsons, keep him away from doing what he does best, which is rushing the passer. And it's in Philly.
At the league.
So I like the Eagles.
It's a tough place to play.
That's fair. Yeah, I like the Eagles of this one. If you look at the schedules, this is the start of a little rough stretch for the Eagles. They have the Cowboys, then the Chiefs, then the Bills, then the Niners, then the Cowboys.
And the Seahawks.
Yeah, and then they get
Seattle.
to end Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So this is going to be the deciding factor if the Eagles come out number 1 in the NFC or not. Being at home definitely goes in the Eagles' favor. The other thing is it looks like Jalen Carter is going to be good to go.
Huge win.
And
Jordan Davis is also Carter, full practice.
Jalen Carter he's a game wrecker. As a rookie, he's one of the most disruptive players in the league. And then you still got Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat on the ends.
Josh Sweat, most underrated. I think he's the most underrated defender in the league.
You can make the case that he's the 3rd best edge rusher in the league.
Statistically.
Top five.
And he's the number 1. He's pressures, sacks, quarterback hits, all the good stuff you want from a pass rusher. And I think he leads the league in pass or quarterback pressures in the 4th quarter. So he's got the clutch gene, which we all know Hassan Reddick does too.
Yeah, I think the thing this comes down to is I'm not really afraid of the Cowboys' rush offense. And then their kind of resurgence offensively has came around force-feeding CeeDee Lamb. I know last year...
They've been good at that against the Eagles.
Well, I know last year they basically moved him all around to just get him the matchup. So...
Yeah, Gannon had no answers, just like he never did all season.
So I think if you're the Eagles, you have to take away CeeDee Lamb. And then on offense, just don't make the game-changing mistake. The Cowboys' defense is very opportunistic, and they've been feasting on if you put the ball in a vulnerable spot, they will take it away and they will probably score. So I think the Eagles, you gotta establish the run, get their defense moving side to side, and pick and choose your shots. Luckily, you have maybe the best guy in the league to do that with A.J. Brown. I can't remember who said it earlier in the year. It might have been Michael Irvin. Said that the game's going to come down to which number 11 makes the big play. Is it going to be A.J. Brown or is it going to be...
He just said that the other day.
is going to be Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
But being at home, and for the fact that the Eagles, they've seemed to rise to the occasion this year, I'm going to go with Philly.
So we all agree.
Philly.
Be rocking my Kelsey jersey all day.
Nice.
Do it.
Next up, Sunday Night Football. Should be a good game. The rematch. Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The game that never was.
I didn't think about
Bengals
that.
Bengals are 1.5-point favorites. Injury-wise, the Bills are a little banged. They're not even banged up. They're hurting. Dawson Knox, Davis White, Matt Milano, they're all on IR. They did just bring in Rasul Douglas. For the Bengals, Joe Mixon's questionable, but he's apparently playing. And then they have a few other slight injuries throughout. The Bengals are coming off of a big win against the Niners, and the Bills are coming off of a narrow win over the Buccaneers. I think that the Bengals are just playing better football right now. I think Joe Burrow's finally healthy, looking like normal Joe Burrow. And the Bills, I feel like I've said this every year for the last 3 years, they're still trying to figure out their offense. Their offense is still, hopefully Josh Allen puts the team on his back, and then hopefully Stephon Diggs makes like 2 plays downfield.
Yeah, I like the Bengals as well. They've been playing good football. I think they just caught their stride, especially last week against the 49ers. Joe Burrow looks as healthy as he has all season. And the Bills, they've found ways to win, but it just doesn't always look right.
Yeah.
Offensively. And I think the Bengals have enough to overpower them, especially, as you mentioned, all the players they have out on defense.
Yeah, I think the only question is, if for whatever reason Mixon is unable to play, the Bengals don't have Samaje Perine like they had in the past, and he was a great backup for them, and he was very good in the games that he started when Mixon did go out. So for whatever reason Mixon does miss the game, I think it can make the Bengals a little one-dimensional, and maybe that plays into the Bills' favor. But right now, if they are able to have a balanced attack, the Bengals' defense, as always, is very underrated. Bengals, they're 1.5-point favorites, but I just think they win outright. I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I was waiting for RJ.
Then that brings us to Monday night. We have the Chargers coming across country to take on the New York Jets. Jets are actually 3.5-point favorites. Chargers have a few injuries. Eric Kendricks is questionable. Josh Palmer is questionable. Kenneth Murray is questionable. Morgan Fox is questionable. For the Jets, they have a few players on IR, which I'm sure they would like to have. But it looks like the only thing big is Laken Tomlinson, their guard, is questionable. This is a tough one. The Jets, they're going to rely on their defense and the run game, and hopefully, I don't know, Zach Wilson is going to try and air it out when he can. The Chargers, it's the Chargers. I think the big question is, if the Jets do win, is Brandon Staley the next one on the chopping block?
I think it's possible. I definitely think the Jets will win as well. Their defense, I think it's going to be too much for Herbert. to overcome.
Yeah, I think the X factor is going to be Austin Eckler. If he can get out in space and make plays, because I don't think they're going to be able to run, and then I don't think there's going to be a ton of passing opportunities for Herbert.
Yeah, my heart says the Chargers and Herbert, but my gut and brain, which usually I don't know if they go hand in hand, but is telling me the Jets. Yeah, just because their defense can be suffocating. The Chargers, they had a nice win last week, but it was against the Bears. The previous 2 weeks, they had trouble on offense and lost to two good teams. I mean, the Jets they've won 3 in a row. They beat my Philadelphia Eagles in the process, so gonna give them more respect.
I mean, the Jets have, made good quarterbacks look not so good. I've always said that Herbert's overrated. This is a game to me that Breece Hall can set the tone, and I think Garrett Wilson is going to
trade a first-round pick for Justin Herbert. You're on crack.
I would.
Okay, then he's not overrated.
He is overrated because
he got drafted as a first-round pick.
People do it. Okay,
I'm not saying
I would
if
for sure.
I wouldn't give up.
You would for sure trade a first-round pick for Justin Herbert. I'm just saying.
Trade a first-round pick for.
I'm just saying in the sense that if you talk to.
Tell me, okay.
More often than not, people are going to say he's a top 5 pick at quarterback. There's a reason why they're not trading our first-round pick for Justin Herbert.
What?
There's a reason why they're not trading, and no one is offering first-round picks for Justin Herbert. Wouldn't we hear about it?
Well, no,
because the Chargers are signing to a massive contract.
If this was real, if we're talking real life, if you're talking real life,
even try to trade for him, the Chargers aren't going to give him up.
There's nothing you could offer them. There's nothing you could offer the Chargers for them to give up Justin Herbert.
That would be that's just like saying nobody offered anything for Jalen Hurts.
I just never, even before pre-contract, I never heard of anything. Is anybody going to try and trade for Herbert? I never heard anything.
I haven't heard about that for Burrow either.
I just think Herbert is starting to. I think Herbert's starting to fall out of the, Mahomes Burrow debate, and now he's sliding back to the Kirk Cousins Dak Prescott debate.
Burrow's a different story, I think.
I was talking about for trade. You said we were talking about him getting traded, or you said no team.
I was thinking about
teams
per
offered
team,
a trade
like
for
Titans right now. I probably could take a Herbert for first.
Well, let me put it this way: if your team didn't have a quarterback,
yes,
you would give up a first-round pick for Herbert. Would you give up a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins?
Currently, right now,
even if your team didn't have a quarterback, no, you probably wouldn't.
No, that's what I said. No.
Would you give up a first-round pick for? Would you give up a first-round pick for Will Levis?
Hell no. He hasn't done shit yet.
But you would for Justin Herbert because Justin Herbert's good.
If we didn't have a quarterback, yes.
Yes.
I just think Herbert's overrated.
I like Herbert. I was just saying personally right now is Washington situation because of Sam Howell. Like I got to roll the dice on him.
I will, in his defense, I will say if he suited up for probably any other team besides the Chargers, he would have probably a different career to this point. Had he been drafted
really looks
by
like a genius.
had Justin Herbert been had Herbert, if Herbert was on the Giants, I think it's a completely different story.
The only problem Herbert's had throughout his career is he's thrown a little bit too many picks. But it's been 10, 15, and 10 this year, 4. And I just think I think he's a little bit of gunslinger. For sure. But he's also thrown 31 touchdowns, 38 touchdowns. He only had 25 last year, but he had almost 5,000 yards. He had 5,000 yards his sophomore year. This year he's got 13 touchdowns, only 4 picks, almost 2,000 yards. His completion percentage is always high.
Put him on a better team.
The longer he plays for the Chargers,
I think if you put Justin Herbert on. I think if you put him on the Bengals are probably still really good. I mean, does he have – we haven't really been able to see if he has the Joe Cool in him. Joe Burrow's, won close games, got into a Super Bowl. So I don't want to say that he would be as good on the Bengals, but he would be better.
The longer Herbert plays for the
He'd be viewed
Chargers,
as
the
better.
more and more he's going to have the exact same career as Philip Rivers.
Yeah, probably. Unless they get a really good head coach.
Puts up numbers, probably throws a little bit more interceptions than he should. Never going to probably
They've never been able to
win
get a
any
good
big
head coach.
games.
Their best head coach they've ever had was Norv Turner, and he was just an offensive genius.
Yeah, and Stanley's supposed
He's
to be this
trash.
defensive guru, and their defense is always trash.
Yeah.
Talked about that before.
I'm changing my pick. I'm picking the Chargers just because Justin Herbert, he's going to carry him on his back.
Until he throws a pick six.
Putting up 30 on the Jets.
Yeah, I'm sticking with
Remember when he was dueling with the Chiefs and he threw that pick six to was it Tre'Davious Ward?
Yeah, you know
last year.
I like Justin Herbert.
I like Herbert too, but we'll see what happens.
Trading for him in franchise, I'm going to scorch earth the league.
Scorch earth.
Yeah, offer him a first round pick to go that goes in franchise.
They won't give it to me. They won't give them to me. Have to be multiple.
Supposed to be 4.
Yeah, exactly. Point proven.
At least you can do that now. We can offer a couple more years in advance. It's nice.
All right, so we're split. Me and RJ are taking the Jets, and you're taking the Chargers. Lone wolf in it.
Yep.
I think that's copyright.
I don't care.
Okay, so that does it for week 9. We'll see how we go. I think we mostly pick games as a group. We're pretty good at making picks.
Yeah, even the
Minus
ones
some crazy
that
upsets that are like just wild weeks is what it is.
Yeah, we usually pick we don't pick like the favorite every time. Like we picked Dolphins. We all 3 picked Dolphins.
Yeah. So to end the show, we're gonna go to our picks. So I guess
of the week.
to start, we're gonna go with our locks, the no interference locks of the week. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go. RJ can go first.
Yeah, definitely got the Raiders minus 1.5 over the Giants.
Raiders.
We talked about the loss of head coach leading the team to rally and get a win, plus the Giants.
Addition by subtraction.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, Max Crosby, at least 2 sacks this game. Calling it.
Cool. Trevor?
Make sure this is the most updated one. I'm going to go with the Dolphins over the Chiefs, and I'm going to go under 50.
All right. Trying to make some parlays here. And I, like we hinted at earlier,
I wanted to pick who I thought was the winner, but my bet of the week would just be the Dolphins under 50.
Yeah. All right.
It would just be the game under 50. You know what I mean?
All right, mine is I'm taking the Seahawks plus 6 at Baltimore.
Be more.
Listen, would I pick the Ravens to win? Yeah, but give me the 6 points and give me the Seahawks. Moving on, our fantasy football start of the week. Are we snake picking this or?
I figure we're snake. We usually snake, but
that's fine.
All right. I'll go. My start of the week: Garrett Wilson versus the Chargers. I think he gets some open space, and it might only be 2 big catches, but I think those 2 big catches are going to be what you need. I think look for Garrett Wilson to sneak in a touchdown and get probably a 40-yard grab. Anything after that's cherry on top.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
My start, which kind of goes against my pick for the team winning, but I'm going to go Isaiah Pacheco against the Dolphins. I know the Dolphins, their run defense looks pretty good on paper, but I think in Germany, the way the Chiefs lost last week and how they struggled in the passing game and the drops and stuff, and Kelsey getting shut down last week. I think they need to lean a little bit more on Pacheco. I think he can be good for plus 75 yards and a score.
I like it. I'm gonna go with Adam Thielen. somehow at 33 years old, still number 1 wide receiver in the NFL for a bad team. But he's still getting those looks. His volume, it's there. No matter who's at quarterback, it seems to. Bryce Young's got a good connection with him. Stick with old Thielen.
Connection.
He has more fantasy points than Devontae Adams on the year.
Yep.
He's got more fantasy points than a lot of guys.
Yeah, you definitely put him at wide receiver 2 or flex. I would flex it if you have better wide receivers available. But going with the sit, DJ Moore. Anything with Chicago, not a fan. Not until Justin Fields comes back.
It's fair. Well,
Who are they playing?
Indianapolis? I can't remember. New Orleans.
I'll
That's
pull it
another
up real quick.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. His defense is pretty solid. That's
Solid. Solid.
Indianapolis was stealing.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch anything from Chicago with the 10-foot pole this week.
Exactly.
All right. My sit of the week is going to be Gus Edwards versus Seahawks. He's coming off a huge game, scoring 3 touchdowns. Everybody's going to be wanting to start him. Seahawks just signed
Traded for Leonard
traded
Williams,
for
big boy and
Leonard Williams, adding to that run defense. I don't think Gus Edwards is going to have the day he had.
That's the thing with Gus. He's touchdown dependent.
Yes.
And even when he scores 1 touchdown, you might be looking at a 10-point game. He needs to score in bunches to be relevant. But and even then, you're looking for goal line carries, and maybe that might be hard to come by against the Seattle team, especially if they're giving up air yardage.
Yeah.
My sit of the week is going to be Puka Nacua versus the Packers. Even though I like the Rams in this game, if Stafford is banged up, he might not be airing it out as much. Typically, the Rams are going to try to move Cooper Kupp around in the slot to get him easy catches, and that's going to leave Puka outside with Jair Alexander. If he's all you got to go with it. But if you have other receivers, he's my bold sit of the week, and I'm going to go for another 3-0 week for you. Doing it for the fans.
I like my picks.
Same.
We'll see how it goes.
Just to prove
I've
the
been wrong
confidence.
a lot.
I just
been
put
wrong a lot.
our 3 locks in as a bet. So let's rock it, boys.
I like it.
It's official.
Put your money where your mouth is.
It's there.
Respectful. All right. Any parting thoughts, gentlemen?
Huge Sunday of football. I love it. We got 9 a.m. big game, 1 p.m. big game, 4 p.m. big game, 8 p.m. big game. If you ain't doing 12 hours of football on Sunday, you ain't doing your Sundays right.
Facts. Yeah, and for the first time this season, I have no football to coach, and Titans already played, so I can just relax brainlessly and watch football
all day.
Might even call it work on Monday. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, feeling it. You like it.
YOLO, right?
So don't interfere with the process.
That does it for the show. This is our Week 9 episode of No Interference. As always, we are your hosts, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the show, like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. If you followed the Westside Locks and I made you some money last week, maybe, float some over here, return it, pay forward.
If you go on a streak, we might have to start charging a subscription for your picks.
Maybe I will. If you want, follow us on social media at the NI Show. We're on Instagram and Twitter. X. I literally have never referred to it as X in my life.
We're not going to call it X ever.
I probably need to fix some stuff graphically too.
Yeah, I saw that last week. I was like, we probably have to change the icon for Twitter. X. GC. Whatever. But yeah, thanks for all the fans out there, and that'll do it for today's show. So adios.
See you.
Peace.